Guys, so we have a big breaking news coming out. Please share this video. Today is March 29, 2025, and welcome to the Real GS News channel. Guys, before I start, give this video a big thumbs up, and once again, thank you so much for your support. Persia threatens to strike Diego Garcia in response to US strike. A senior Persian military official has warned that if the sleeping giant launches any strike against Persia from regional bases, Persia will respond with force, regardless of the nationality of the forces stationed in that region. Here's the map. So, again, the sleeping giant has deployed I believe it's seven of the B-2 stealth bomber, and they're right here in this small island not too far from Persia. Now Persia said they will fire a missile towards this small island and take out the US B-2 stealth bombers. This is some very serious news here, guys. So we're gonna see what's going on with this breaking news. At the same time, make sure you check out the video I posted today. Vladimir Limousine. Well, that thing went boom! And it happened in the capital. So, again, everybody is safe. But I believe this was a message sent to the bear leader. Alright, so make sure you check out the video, guys. All the information will be in the comments box. And you guys know Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine, he said this 2 days ago. Vladimir will soon pass. Alright, so 2 days later, boom. Limousine went, you know what. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters, a prayer request, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the PayPal link and the Cash App link in the description box and also the comments box. Alright, so let's see what's going on with this story here. Persia threatened to strike Diego Garcia in response to sleeping giant strikes. A senior Persian military official has warned that if the sleeping giant launches any strike against Persia from regional bases, Persia capital will respond with force, regardless of the nationality of the forces stationed there. It would make no difference whether we target British or sleeping giant forces. If Persia is struck from any base in the region or within range of Persian missile, now when the time comes, it will not matter whether you are a sleeping giant citizen, British or Turkish soldier. You will be impacted if your base is used by the sleeping giant. Wow. The official told the Telegraph. Persia state media added that ballistic equipment and drones will be used to strike the sleeping giant British military base on Diego Garcia, a critical outpost in the Indian Ocean, if hostile actions are taken against Persia. Wow. So, we talked, excuse me guys, we talked about this a couple of days ago. The US has deployed 7 or 8 of the B-2 stealth nuclear bombers, and they're out there. Now, they're going to stay there for like, I think 60 days. And at the same time, Donald gave Persia 60 days to make up their mind. If you guys are going to go nuclear, we're going to strike you. Or you guys could come to the round table and we could dialogue and talk about this. Now, Persia said that they're not going to sit down with the sleeping giants. They're going to continue building their nuclear. And that's the reason why Donald sent those nuclear bombers out there. Alright, so we're going to see what's going on with this story here, guys. Once again, please share this video. And this nation against nation is building up really quick in these end times. Persia has warned that it will target British forces in the Chagos Island if Donald strike the Mideast nation. After Mr. Donald warned military action against the regime if it did not make a deal with the sleeping giant over its nuclear program, a senior Persian military official told the Telegraph that Persia capital Tehran would strike the joint sleeping giant UK naval base on Diego Garcia in response to any strike. There will be no distinction in targeting British or the sleeping giant forces if Persia is struck from any base in the region or within the range of Persian missile, he said on Saturday, March 29. Now, guys, that island is not only B-2 stealth bombers that's out there, they have a missile defense system. They have some stuff out there. So if Persia fired the missiles, again, we got stuff out there that could take out those missiles. But, buckle up. This thing is going to get really, really hot. And it's just the tip of the iceberg. He added, when the time comes, it won't matter whether you're an American, British, or Turkish soldier. You will be impacted if your base is used by the sleeping giant. Wow. And last night, Persia sent a letter with a message that they will strike every single base out there in the Mid-E. And those bases has sleeping giant soldiers. We got soldiers out there. So Persia said they would hit those regions. They would hit them and they would drop the hammer. So Donald, he really needs to think twice about this one here. Persia state media said that Persia capital Tehran will strike the Diego Garcia facility with ballistic equipment and drones in retaliation for any sleeping giant hostile action against the Persian nation. It warned, Persia possesses adequate weapons for such a strike from its mainland, such as newer version of the, I'm gonna skip that name, missile that have an intermediate range, and the Shahed kamikaze drone with a range of 4,000 kilometers. That's 2,485 miles. All right, tensions are boiling up. Now, the other day, the U.S. came out and said those planes, those aircraft that were sent to Diego Garcia Island, is not connected to Iran's situation. But Iran is saying something else today. Iran is saying, hey, I know you got those birds out there and they were meant for us. You better take those birds out of there or we will fire ballistic. Whoops. So the base, it added, was in Tehran's crosshair because it is home to a strategic bomber force capable of striking Persia underground facility. Okay, so once again, so I guess those bombers, those aircraft, was meant to strike really deep underground facility. And that's where Persia has their uranium stuff. They're building that nuclear. But not only that, I do believe there's a possibility they might go after their underground missiles city. They call it the underground city missile, something like that. But Persia put out a video that shows all their missiles, all their armored vehicles, a lot of stuff that is hidden underground. B-2, that's the one. B-2 Spirit bomber with long range payload and advanced stealth features is often cited as an ideal platform for delivering heavy bombs to Persia underground facilities. In such a scenario, the bomber would certainly take off from the Diego Garcia Island, making the 3,800 kilometers away base a target for Persia retaliatory operation. So that's like from Florida to New Jersey. That's like 3,000 something kilometers from Florida to New Jersey. And those bombers, they go really fast, so they probably make it there from Diego Garcia to Persa. They probably can make it there in minutes. So really quick. And they could drop the hammer on Persa. At least 3 B-2 Spirit bombers arrived at the outpost this week, satellite imagery showed. Once again, a UK Gov spokesman said, "We condemn these warnings in the strongest terms." The UK Gov continues to work with partners across the region to encourage de-escalation. The base on Diego Garcia is vital to UK and US security and plays a crucial role in maintaining regional and international security. What do you guys think? I do believe that this is going to cause a huge biblical war. This thing is, again, if Donald gives the green light. So here's the picture. You got 4 there. You see that? You got 2 on the right and 2 on the left. And those birds are out there. And Persa is saying, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing those birds out there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow. Once again, Persa state media listed the Diego Garcia base as a potential target. Wow. So they could fire ballistic stuff towards that island. Potential target alongside other sleeping giant military location across Asia and the Mid-East, including a naval base in Bahrain close to Royal Navy support facility. Alright, so once again, Persa is warning that we'll drop the hammer on that. Dropping the ballistic and firing drones. So you have 4 B-2 bombers at Diego Garcia after a previous satellite image last week has shown 3 of the aircraft. Diego Garcia is the largest island in the Chagos Archipelago, British Soviet territory, that the Gov wants to hand over to Mauritius. It says here, the base, which has been a joint UK-US facility since the 1970s, has been a key point of contention in the deal to give up the island. There are believed to be about 4,000 US and British personnel on the island, made up of servicemen and civilian contractors. Man, you got soldiers out there. Someone posted a picture yesterday on Twitter, and it was like back, I guess, in the early 2000s, and the person said it's just beautiful and amazing area out there, and they do have a lot of military service members out there and many equipments. Once again, the British detachment reportedly number around 40 people who provide police and customs services. A small contingent of Royal Marines undertakes security duties. Now it says here, as part of the Gov proposed deal with Mauritius, Diego Garcia will be leased back to the UK at a reported annual cost of £90 million. I don't know how much is that in US currency, allowing military operation to continue. Since returning to office, Donald has restored his maximum pressure campaign on Persa, which aims to stop it obtaining a nuclear equipment by driving its oil export down to 0. But he has also expressed interest in quickly negotiating a verified nuclear peace agreement with, I'm going to skip their names, the Persian, put it like that. Wow. So it's just a matter of time. So today, well, yesterday, they sent a message to Donald they told Donald that they could literally bring fire down to the entire Mid-East region. And today they're sending another message about this Diego Garcia. On Friday, the sleeping giant leader warned Persia that very bad things will happen if Persia fails to agree to a nuclear deal. Well, it seems like it's going to be a big piñata party going on. There's going to be fire going on in various places. And again, I remember Donald said, and I'm not trying to bash the Donald here. I'm not trying to bash him. But Donald said that he wants to bring peace to the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not it. This is not it. This is actually the opposite. The Bible says, when spoken of peace and safety, or peace and security, the sudden destruction shall follow. It says here, he said, I sent them a letter just recently. And I said, you have to make a decision, one way or the other. And we either have to talk and talk it out, or very bad things are going to happen to Persia. I don't want that to happen. My big preference, and I don't want this through strength or weakness. My big preference is we work it out with Persia. But if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Persia. And Persia, when they heard that, when they read that message, they responded really quick saying, we will drop the hammer on the entire Mid-East. There will be fire all over the place. So, again, guys, I'm not seeing any peace going on here. And like I said, things are not looking pretty good. The supreme leader of Persia has banned direct talk with the sleeping giant, saying no problem will be solved by negotiating with the sleeping giant. A political science professor at a university near Persia capital said they, the regime, would do anything to survive in the event of a strike. The regime would be like a wounded wild animal, striking at everything in sight. He added they are convinced they would have survived and know that neither the bear nor the red dragon will come to their help. The memory of Assad's fate still lives here. The regime has only one option, to engage and negotiate with Donald. They don't have good memories of him and know that when he makes a promise, he follows through. Mr. Donald sent a letter to Persia's supreme leader earlier this month, urging Persia to negotiate and warning that military interventions will be terrible. Buckle up. That's all I gotta say. Persia, again, the Persians, you guys know Persia from, Old Testament. Right now it's called Iran, but I used the name Persia for code words. But you got the Babylonians out there, back in the time of Daniel, and also, Jeremiah, the young prophet that spoke about the Babylonians, like brutal ones. They come into Holy Land and completely destroy everything and took the Israelites to Babylonian captivity for 80-something years under King Nebuchadnezzar. And King Nebuchadnezzar was a brutal leader. All right, so then after him you had King Cyrus, and then the story goes on to Nehemiah building the wall in the Holy Land. So again, these Persians, the Babylonians, they have long history when it comes to dealing with all these war. And they don't like when other nations tell them to, come to the table. You're not going to beat us. You can never beat us. Again, they don't like it when other nations, speak like that. Who in the world you think you are? We've been here thousands of years. You've been here only 200-something years. On Thursday, Persia confirmed it had responded to Donald's letter, neither rejecting talks outright nor agreeing to direct negotiation. Once again, this person here, a senior advisor to the supreme leader of Persia, said that the regime had not closed all doors to diplomacy and was open to indirect talks with the sleeping giant. This person here, Persia foreign minister, said that Persia capital Tehran has sent its reply through Oman, outlining its stance on Donald's proposal and Mideast affairs. He added that Persia will not engage in direct negotiation under sleeping giant pressure, but remain open to indirect discussion as in the past. And that's where we are right now. And again, for those of you that don't know, this is the news that came out yesterday. Donald cautioned bad things in store if Persia won't negotiate. It's just the tip of the iceberg. So now the big news is the Diego Garcia Island. Donald has some very powerful birds out there, B-2 nuclear bombers out there, and Persia is saying, hey Donald, I see what you did there. I'm telling you, I will fire ballistic stuff out there, and I will launch drones. So we keeping an eye on you too. So it's just a matter of time when things start hitting the fan. Persia was giving 60 days. Right now it's 49 days. So the clock is ticking. Tick tock, tick tock. And I'm not talking about the app. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon. We get to access to our live stream every Monday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Faith and trust in Jesus Christ. For he's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.